Yeah? You sleepy? Are you still snoring? You hear me? Yeah? What are you doing? Are you gonna just sit there and make lots of noise during Daddy's broadcast? Is that the plan? You can stay in the chair. Don't come over. It's okay. Alright. Let's see what's going on here. Mail. You getting comfy? You're getting comfy, little girl. Where is that email? Oh, there it is. Let's see. Oh, hey guys. Teresa Sutera, why are you so sad? I'm not sure, dear. Why are you sad? Have you asked yourself? Oh shit, that didn't work. Let me see. What the hell happened there? Why did that not work? Control V. Didn't copy. 1 second. I'm trying to find something in my email to copy the link. Give me 1 second. I'll be right with you guys. I'll be right with you. Just give me 1 second. Here we go. Alright, Control C, bitch. As in copy. Let me see here. Control V. Why is it not working? Hey Kat, how are you? Thank you. Good to see you live too. Why is it not typing anything? No, there's typing. Why is it not Control V-ing into my... Oh, wait, no. What is going on? Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm having a difficulty copying my link out of my email for the link to book Charmings tonight for anybody that might want to pay for Charming, and I'm trying to get it copied. This is how I normally do it, and it's not Control V-ing or whatever they call it. It's Control C, right? Let's just place that down there and do a Control V. There we go. Alright, Fierce. Okay, that worked. So, it looks like I'm live on both Facebook and YouTube. Great. How are you guys? How is everybody? I'm not sure why you're sad, Teresa. I'm sorry to hear that you're sad. I'm really tired. I've been like just kind of meh. I think my personal opinion, for me, this has nothing to do with anybody else. I think for my personal opinion, I'm just sort of over it. I'm over like the world. I love everybody in the world, don't get me wrong, but I think that we're acting like a bunch of goddamn fools. That's my feeling, personally. Everybody just running around like a bunch of fools, myself included. So, that's me in a nutshell. But I've just been kind of trying not to pay attention to it as best I can, but it's kind of hard not to. I'm sort of finding myself a little bit addicted. But I think that that's what's making me tired, too. It's just like, every day it's something new online. And I try and not post stuff, but I just can't help myself lately. Like, some of the stuff is just so amazing. Like, it's just crazy. It's like out of the bad film. Get a cute mask and rock it. Yeah, Kat says she's over 2020 for sure too. I am too. I don't want to like hate on 2020. It's been a rough year though. Let's just say that for everybody involved. And I honestly believe that there's like more going on in our psyches than we realize. If we really all stopped and like sat with ourselves for a minute, we'd be really shocked at not ourselves so much as just the state of the world. Where we're at, how much fighting's going on, how much division's going on, how much hatred is being thrown around. it's 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 taxing. It's just like, ugh, how are we gonna find our way out of this? So it's like I'm not, there's days I don't even want to get out of bed, to be honest. Hey Tracy Swinson, how are you? Hey Christina Davis Buffkin, how are you? She says, word, sister. Exactly, sister. Exactly. So I mean, I'm like okay. I'm just sort of, you know, over it. I mean, yeah, I'm over it. I can't trust anything I read anymore. It's not that I don't. Well, yeah, no, you can't trust anything you read anymore. It's just crazy, and you don't know, what's politically motivated and what's not in nowadays, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. If I didn't have my garden to escape into, I'd be in bad shape. Not looking forward to winter. I'm sorry, Kat. Yeah. I have my dogs. That helps. I spend a lot of time with them and I cuddle them and I just don't deal with it as much. Like I try and turn a blind eye. Today I have this video game that I like to play where I shoot people. That seemed to make me feel better. It's just this game where you go around shooting religious cult members. And so I did that all afternoon today, and that made me feel a little bit better. And then it made the time pass a little bit easier. I wasn't like on my phone reading Facebook and goofy news and who's got COVID and who doesn't, and which, woman's rights killer is being elected to office, and, all that shit is just, ugh, it's too much. Can't deal with it anymore. I don't know, you are the only one on YouTube, Kat. I'm not sure. Teresa says, I think that's what's up with me too. I think that there's a lot more going on for us psychologically than we realize. Like, I think that there's things happening psychologically for children right now that we don't even understand. I think children are resilient and, they adapt very quickly. But I think that this is a very strange experience for everybody. Having to stay home and be homeschooled, all of that sort of stuff. It's got to have an effect. It's got to be, and kids are aware. They know what's going on. They're paying attention. They're listening in the background. They know, when things aren't okay. And so I think that it's hard for them. I think it's hard for adults. I think that there's a lot of people that are financially struggling right now. That's all very scary and upsetting for people. And there's no help coming from anywhere, really. Not even our own government. Our own government is too busy fighting amongst each other, And so I'm just sort of like, ugh. God, human race is like, I hope the aliens show up at this point. Like, I'm just like praying because that might be the only thing that brings us all together where we're like, oh shit, all of a sudden we love each other. Because you got big almond eyes and a brain on the outside of your head. Hey Brittany, how are you? Yeah, it doesn't help if you're empathic either, Teresa, because it's just sort of like you kind of just feel the sadness of all of it. It doesn't necessarily even have to be anybody else's sadness that you're feeling. I feel like I just feel the tragedy of all of it in the sense that it's just sad. It's not mine. It's not anybody else's specifically. It's just sort of the state of the world. And when you like read like the infighting on Facebook and things like that, it just gets really old and it gets really depressing. And it becomes really just like, ugh, it's bizarre. And I'm not here to bash anybody's, political beliefs because I don't think that's the answer either. I think there's too much of that going on right now. But I do think that people are so quick to blanket judge one whole side of the room just because it's opposite from their own or not the side that they purport to. And this goes for both sides, don't get me wrong. And this goes for both sides, that it becomes tiring. It's like a game of like asshole ping pong, basically. So that's how I see it, as asshole ping pong. Imagine like having a paddle and a giant asshole flying across the table and everybody's swatting at it. That would get messy after a while, right? Probably. Just saying. And for all of you dirty birdies out there, don't get turned on. Alright. Okay. So I am here to do try not to get excited, people, but I am here to do charm divination, as thrilled as I sound about that. And as beautiful as I may look right now, I actually shaved today. I actually had to get up and shave so that I felt like I looked like I didn't crawl out of a cave before getting on camera. Um, and I'm here to just do. Hey Heidi Phillips, how are you? Hey Pedro Scassi, how are you? Hi Sharon Taylor, how are you? Um, Brittany, if you want to do a charming, you certainly can. The link is here. Control V. I'll put it in the chat if you'd like. If you'd like to purchase a charming, feel free to do so. Anybody that's here that's a Patreon subscriber and hasn't cashed in for their, oh, I don't have my book with me. Where the hell's my damn book? Let me grab my book. I'll be right back. If you want to cash in your September charming, you can. One moment. I'm sorry, not your September charming, your October charming. We're now in October. And I think we're hoping that 2021 is going to get better, like it's all 2020's fault. It's not 2020's fault. Let's just say that. Let's get that into our heads. It may not just shift magically on New Year's Eve on 2021. We might still be a whole bunch of assholes. We might even be bigger assholes by 2021. Is my feeling. I mean, I'm not predicting. That's not a psychic prediction. I'm just saying we don't seem to be heading in the right direction, in my opinion. It seems to be getting worse. Thank you, Brittany, for sending over that money. I see you are there, my dear. I see you. I see you. So, Miss Brittany, we will get you good. I'm glad you're good, Heidi. Good, good, good. What do you want to have charmed, Miss Brittany? And Tracy, if you're there, I think Tracy Swinson's in the room. Tracy, if you want to cash in yours, I believe you're still on my Patreon list, correct? You can get yours today if you want, if you're watching over. I think you're in Australia. So if now's a good time to cash in your October charming, feel free to do so. I think shit's not going to calm down until July of 2021. That could be very possible, Brittany. Let's do past life. Okay, we will. All right, Tracy, I'm going to do Brittany's and then I'll do you, okay? Hey, Lisa Vanderhead, how are you? I'm going to turn the cameras around. All right, let's do past life for Brittany. All right, so we've got an O. We've got a Z. We've got an R, an I, and then a D fell on the table next to me, so I don't know if that counts. I don't know if that counts. Let me see here. I've got the numbers for the letters is 11, 12, 13, which would be a 4. I don't feel like that D counts, to be honest, but I'm going to leave it up there just in case. Let me look at this for a moment. I don't know why I feel this way when I'm looking at these charms, Brittany, but I feel like you were a male. I feel like you were like some sort of a trader or and I mean trader like TRADER, like trading, like you would trade like livestock, animals, things of that nature. Part of the reason why I feel that way is we have the bull here, we also have the elephant here. But there's this thing that makes me feel like you have the dream catcher, right, which takes me to this place of Native American, but I don't feel that you're Native American. I feel like you're Spain or somewhere in that, like either Europe. I feel like, okay, the dream catcher is making me think of like Native American, right? But I'm feeling like dark skinned in the sense of like Spanish or possibly Middle Eastern. I kind of feel like it's a little bit more on the sandy side of things, if that makes sense. So I want to go more towards the Middle East, but I still feel this weird Spanish vibe or this connection to Spain with this. I don't know enough about my geography to know that realm of the world. I'm trying to think where sort of the Middle East or Eastern, like Far Eastern Europe kind of meets. But I feel like you might have crossed those boundaries or you might have gone in and out of Spain. Let me just look at this for a minute. This is the word imagine flipped over. I feel like you were single in this life, and I feel like you didn't have a family because you traveled so much. I feel like you used to move large animals, like, we have this bull here, we have this elephant here. I feel like you used to transport items and trade them to people. You'd go from like city to city. And I don't sense that you had like a wife or children in this lifetime. You might have had like women that you loved or girlfriends or things like that, but you were never really married or had children. Is the feeling like I feel a little bit nomadic with this life. Um, I mean, you maybe had a home. I'm trying to think where the hell would this be? Like, where is that place? Like Marrakesh? Do you know Marrakesh? Like it feels like maybe that, where it's sort of deserty, but it has like influences of Europe in there too, right? So it feels kind of like if Marrakesh is correct, I'm not sure exactly what country Marrakesh is in, but like it feels like it might be that place. It feels sort of desert dwelling, but not like it's not like the Middle East, like in the sense of like Saudi Arabia or anything like that. It's got more of a European vibe to it in a way. And then I feel like you would trek into Europe. You used to wear long robes. I feel like I see you with long robes, and I feel like in these charms, I feel like you had a beard, quite possibly a very thick, full, dark beard. I see, as I'm looking at these charms, I see this person as like I said, as a male, but I see him younger in the sense of like he's not an old man, right? His beard is dark and full. So I would say he's maybe, in his 30s or something. This was when you were sort of maybe in your prime, when things were really going well for you. I feel like you were very intelligent. I feel, and that's this clarity stone here. I feel like you made a fair amount of money too. I don't know why I feel that way, but that's kind of what I'm looking at this. Like you were good at what you did. You were very smart. You were very wise. You knew how to move things. You knew how to trade things. You knew how to sort of where to take them to get the best dollar for whoever. You might have even been like sort of a middleman in the sense that you were trading for other clients, right? Maybe they had the item that you would then take across long distances and sell to another client that was very rich or that sort of a thing, and you made good money. You lived really a good life. I feel like this feather up here says to me that you were sort of blessed in that way, right? That there was good blessings upon you. The only thing that I do get the sense of with this is that you did not have a family. I don't know that that necessarily particularly bothered you. I think that was the one area where you never sort of excelled or explored. Does that make sense? So it feels like, and these to me feel like this 4 and 5 feel like almost money to me, right? They feel like, and normally the green dice are what represent money, but to me with this black dice, it feels like the black color feels to me like it was very grounded in control, like you knew what you were doing, especially with this third eye charm here and the clarity of the third eye charm. It felt like you had a very much a savvy business sense, like you knew what to do, how to do it, how to move it, where to sell it, that sort of a thing. Let me just see though. It's funny. I'm like trying to figure out what like. So why are you showing me this life? Like why is this what I'm seeing in these charms, or why is it that like I'm being taken to this life? Because this life feels very productive. It feels very successful. By those means or those standards at that time, it actually feels like I said blessed. Like it's even better than successful, right? You like it's like to me. People in the industry or in around you maybe were even sometimes jealous of how successful you were because you made it look so simple. You made it look so easy, even though you would travel these long distances or move like things like cattle or elephants or whatever it was that you were moving. You would do it so successfully that sometimes people were jealous. They didn't quite understand how you could do it so easily. You were quite happy doing it too, I feel like you were content. You weren't necessarily needing for much more. The interesting thing though is I asked like sort of, I feel like you had a fear of water, and I feel like you may have died in the water in this lifetime. Like I feel like it might have been a freak accident. Like I feel like most of your trading was done on land, the majority of your life. Like you would carry things maybe over countries, right? Or drive like, animals, whatever, across long distances to sell them in other markets or to other, maybe kings or whatever it was that you were dealing these like this sort of stuff in. I feel like you were selling not just animals either. There was other items like, be it spices, whatever it was that you were moving it and you were moving it well, getting really good prices for it. Always kind of everything always sort of working out for you all the way along. And I feel like you didn't like water. Like you preferred to be on land. Like you didn't trust the sea, you didn't trust the ocean. And I feel like when I'm looking at this, there was maybe some moment where you got onto the sea or onto a boat and that boat may have sank and that's how you passed. I feel like, and that might be also part of the reason why I don't see you as an older man, why I see you as maybe dying sort of like, not necessarily in your prime, but you died probably a little bit young, or younger than you uh, would have if you hadn't stayed on that boat, or if you hadn't stayed on land, if that makes sense. I think that it was your time to go, though. It was okay that you went, but to me, it just felt like it was already fearful for you to get on the ship. And you might have been taking something for someone across seas to another city somewhere. And this was something that maybe you had not ever done before or were not comfortable doing, is the feeling that I get. And part of the reason why I get that is because we have this turtle here. We also have the Imagine Stone, which is on this like sea-colored blue, and it's turned over, which to me it makes me feel like sort of like you had your imagination about being on the sea was not, it wasn't fun for you. Like you didn't like the idea. It was something, a new form of maybe travel or trade for you that you were not very keen on, but you were willing to do it because the money was sort of good or the options were good. But I feel like it frightened you. And it's almost funny. It's like it's kind of like I don't know. Like when I ask, okay, so why are you showing me this? Or I want to ask you, Brittany, like in business, right, or in the making of money, how able are you to take risks, right? How comfortable are you to take chances? And the reason why I ask that is because I feel like in this lifetime you took this chance, right? And even though your kind of intuition told you, no, don't do it, don't get on the boat, no, that's not wise. So many people have been on boats and off of boats that it almost seemed frivolous. Like you didn't necessarily want other people to know that you were maybe as scared as you were, because everybody saw you sort of as this not powerful, but like as this successful trader, right? This speaks to this idea of almost being blessed through most of your life. Like everything was always good, everything always turned in your favor, everything always seemed to work out as long as you were able to control it. The thing you couldn't control was the sea, right? Like you couldn't control the boat, you couldn't control the sea, you weren't in charge of those aspects of this sort of part of the journey. And I kind of feel like in that moment the boat maybe sank, and not only did we lose the shipment, but you might have lost your life. And so I wonder if you carry over any sort of trepidation, fear, worry about that sort of a thing. You're still frivolous. Hey, Christina Avalos, how are you? Because what I see here is that your mind is very clear. You know, you can trust your mind, your business acumen, you're savvy. It's like, but do you trust risk? Do you trust the unknown? Do you trust things that you've never done before, or do they frighten you in ways that seem sort of maybe unrealistic at times? And part of the reason why I say that is because there might be some sort of remnant from a DNA sort of memory of a past life where you got on a boat fearful, kind of knowing. That's the thing too, is you kind of knew, this doesn't feel right, this isn't, you know, and it's that sort of being blessed too, like listening to that higher voice or that higher intelligence. You probably knew not to get on the boat, but you got on the boat anyways, and it sort of didn't work out, right? Outside of your own ability to stop it, you couldn't stop it your own self. But it sort of says to me, like, it makes me think of this idea of, okay, so where does this transpire in her life now? And it makes me wonder, like, if you can trust what you do and how you do it, which I think that you can, that's these three charms here. Do you irrationally fear things that maybe feel new, outside of your control, outside of your comfort zone? And I mean, not like normal. This would be more of a like an intense fear where you're like, shit, why am I so scared of that? I shouldn't be that scared of that. That's what I feel like this is trying to say. No, I don't feel like it's a fear of water. I feel like in this lifetime you were not necessarily into the ocean. Like, I feel like it was not your normal mode of transportation. And so I wonder if, like, when taking what are perceived risks in this life, where does your anxiety level go? And why? That's kind of the question that I ask. Or where I feel like I want to ask the question after looking at these charms. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Heidi. I see that you all guys sent payment, so you guys will all be next um, after, oh my God, Tracy Swinson is here. I'm gonna do Tracy next, and then I'll do you guys in that order, okay? Yes, Teresa, that's my dog snoring. I have two bulldogs in here asleep, snoring away. So that's what you're hearing in the background. Well, I think that's why, and I think that it's just having lost something. I don't see this as a bad life. I just see it as like sort of carryover of the fear of that and feeling out of control, and then like sort of kind of going against your own better judgment and, you know, understanding why after the fact, so to speak. But I don't necessarily think that that experience is anything that you should have to kind of allow to irrationally affect your worries and fears now. Does that make sense? Because you've also done other lifetimes between this lifetime and that lifetime. You've learned many other things, but this is something that maybe still comes up for you, is like anxiety or fear around things like that are maybe possibly improbable or not even, they're like a minute risk, but because in a past life where a minute risk actually took effect and really kind of shifted everything for you, you're a little bit reluctant to take those risks. Does that make sense? All right, I'm gonna click. Do you need to take a picture of this board? Because I just got 4 orders, so I need to hustle. I didn't know so many people were going to be interested tonight. I need to wake up. Shit. How do you let that shit go? You realize that that was a past life where so a mistake was made. You weren't in control of the boat. You weren't in control of the ocean. There's no way to control those sort of things. You have to live with this sort of. I wouldn't even call it a mistake. I would call it a decision that was made, and then there was other mitigating factors that were outside of your control. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you should allow your fears or anxieties to stop you from making decisions again for fear that something might get out of hand. That's how you stop it, in the sense that it's like, I don't want to say this. It's kind of like, I mean, we all want to value the life that we have, right? Of course, it's like super important, right? But there's also this idea, if we're getting past life readings, we have to understand that reincarnation exists. So ultimately, if that's the case, if mistakes get made or misgivings happen or mistakes happen, there's always like reparation. There's always ways to repair those mistakes, or in a worst case scenario, so maybe a mistake happens that's outside of our control. We pass away. We're still going to come back and maybe relive a different life and learn a different lesson, or maybe learn that same lesson over again. So it's not to mean that like we don't take the life that we have seriously or place importance on it, but we also have to believe in the power of spirit, believe in the power of our own spirit, believe in the everlasting continuation of that spirit, right? And so ultimately, it's not as dire as we make it out to be when we're processing it through our mind and our ego. That's kind of my feeling. So it's like, take risks, take calculated risks, take risks that definitely feel safe. But if you're fearing and you're feeling anxiety, like heavy duty amount of anxiety around a risk that isn't necessarily that big of a deal, it might be stemming from a risk that you took lifetimes ago that you never quite sort of quantified or came to terms with, whatever. And when I think about this life, or the story that comes with these charms, is that you had no control over the boat, you had no control over the ocean, you had no control over whatever brought the boat down in the ocean, whether it was a storm or the boat captain, whatever it may have been that caused the accident. It wasn't your accident, nor was it your fault. The only decision you made was you got on the boat. But the thing is yes, maybe your intuition was telling you don't get on the boat, and you did. But it's like, in some ways it's okay. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to clear these away. And let's get to Miss Tracy Swinson. Tracy, what topic do you want yours to be on? Thank you guys so much for buying charmings. I totally need the money, so it's no joke. I really appreciate it. I only do these once a week now, and I'm like, broke as a joke. Let's do relationships for Tracy. Okay, perfect, Tracy. All right. Wow, it's a lot of letters, Tracy. I don't know if all these letters are going to count, but we're going to look and see what we've got here. We've got an SS, an E, a T, an I, an R, a G. That's a lot of letters, dear. An O. Do you know what this is? This is confusion to me. I don't know what's going on in your relationship, but I feel like this is confusion. All of these letters are confusing me, let alone... Can somebody can somebody use their phone, like Lisa, if you're out there, can you use your phone and do a word, what do they call that? The word jumbler thing or whatever, where you type in the letters and see the different words that come out? I can't think of what they're called. Yeah, sisters in here. I know, there's a bunch of different words in all of this. I mean, there could be like even bigger words. So I can't think of the name of what it's called on the phone. Ducky and Angel used to do that for me sometimes. They would type in all the letters into like a word descrambler, and then it would show you all the different words that can be made from a bunch of letters. But to me, this just feels like a bunch of confusion. So if somebody could do that for me, just to see what words do come out of all of this, because this is a lot of letters. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's a number 11. 11 is a good number. It's a master number. So Heidi Phillips says Tracy is resist. She sees a resist in there, so an RESIST, resist. So there's resist. And then an IGON. There's a lot there. All right, so let me look here. Let me see what's going on here. All right, so I'm going to say this right out of the gate. I feel like you have, I can't remember his name. Oh shit, I'm drawing a blank. What is his name? He's the romantic one too. You have the romantic charm, the clay charm. Is it Krishna? I think it's Krishna. And this is how he's portrayed. On this very charm is how he's portrayed when he's romancing the women. He's playing like this flute, right? He's very romantic. But he's flipped over, and he's next to this rubber snake, and he's also next to the heart with wings and the key. And it might be fucking with your serenity a little bit, because we have the serenity charm upside down. We do have a baby here, a football helmet, and a heart, right? So I'm going to say that all of this to me feels like, and I could be wrong about this, Tracy, you can let me know, but I kind of feel like there might be somebody that might be a little bit off and on, or he's in the periphery. He may not quite give you exactly what you want all of the time. At times it's good, at times it's bad. He kind of goes in and out of maybe being romantic Krishna to being this rubber snake and a total pain in the ass, right? And so you maintain your serenity pretty good is my feeling, but sometimes he can affect that. And I feel like you want him to be the one, or you want this person to be the one, but they kind of blow hot and cold, or they kind of go on and off. It's sort of this kind of, just when you think everything's all right and good and better, they kind of maybe back off or do the wrong thing, say the wrong thing. They're not quite like giving you exactly what it is you need or what you want. But I'm not going to say that it's all bad either. Oh, resisting. Yeah, you're right. Resisting is a word. There you go. Resisting and then oh. Totally. Get it. Get it. Heidi Phillips is like the Vanna White of the night, man. Get it, Heidi Phillips. So the word resisting is in there. And maybe this person is resisting you or your advances, or maybe you're in the process of resisting them. Because to me, these both being flipped over and face down in the center feels like they're kind of like a center focus for you, or they might be something that you're focused upon, but they're not quite giving you exactly what you want. You haven't completely lost everything or turned everything over to them, because you still have the serenity charm and you have the blessed charm, which says to me that you're still keeping your center, you're still keeping your wits about you and keeping strong, and you know what you want in your heart. Right? Like that's this heart with wings. And this key to me also speaks to like the clarity of that, or the understanding of that. Maybe giving somebody the key to your heart. Maybe you have given them the key to your heart, or you've given them sort of a little bit more than you maybe have wanted to. You might even have a child with them. That's what this baby represents. Or you might have thought about wanting to have a child with them. You may share a baby. The baby can also be rebirth or being reborn. It doesn't necessarily have to be an actual baby. And the helmet to me makes me feel like at times you may need protection in this relationship or in this thing that's going on. You have the little forest dwelling spirit up here in the higher mind, up in the far corner. I'm not exactly sure what the hell he's doing up there, to be honest. I feel like he might be some sort of guide or something for you. I almost feel like he might be like a relative of some sort, like a passed on relative. I don't know why I'm getting that feeling, but when I'm looking at this, I feel like it could be like a male, like relative. Like, I don't know if you have a close grandfather or father that you're dear to that maybe is on the other side, but I kind of feel like they're sort of over here in the corner watching over everything, trying to whisper to you, Tracy. I don't know if that's accurate or not, and I don't want to make light of anything that might be sort of serious in that way. But it kind of gives me this vibe that he's sort of watching over this whole situation. I think that, like, as I'm looking at this whole situation, though, I feel like you're doing really well in it, in the sense that the Serenity charm and the Blessed charm speak to this idea that you are staying strong, you are trying to keep your ground or hold your ground and stay centered during it. But it is a bit of a headache, right? It is a bit of a, like, a sort of, it's not the worst case scenario. Like, the rubber snake to me is always like these kind of annoyances, right? It's like these people, or there can be situations that kind of, they get on our nerves, but they're not the end of the world, right? And then when you have romantic Krishna here, even though he's face down, it says to me that whoever this person is, sometimes they do have their moments where they can be really charming and things are actually good, right? They just might, we might be in one of those off moments right now, and that's why he's flipped over. The other thing that is down here in the far corner, and this is in the more subconscious mind, but in the future, is travel. So I don't know, this says one of two things to me. Either you are thinking about traveling, or traveling might be something that you might be considering. Or this person could maybe, either they need to travel, or there could be some distance between the two of you, or there might be some distance to come between the two of you. It doesn't have to necessarily be great distance just because it's represented by the globe, but it does feel like there could be some sort of travel involved, or space taken in this whole situation, or maybe you need some space in this whole situation, a vacation, a break. That could also be a form of travel. Hi, Claudette, how are you? But other than that, I just kind of feel like I want to get this person to behave. I wish they would be, because, like, when they're good and they're flipped over, they're, like, quite charming and lovely. And we would want to get rid of that rubber snake altogether. But I feel like, sort of, maybe right now things are feeling a little bit more off than they have been on. And that's, like, I have to say, it's like sort of no fault through your own. Like, in the sense that what I mean is the Serenity charm and the Blessed charm feels to me like you are probably giving them sort of, even if they're not giving you the exact same back, you're sort of giving them the best sort of how, if that makes sense, or the best version of yourself. Does that make sense, Tracy? This is making complete sense. Okay, thank you. So I think things are good. Like, I mean, it's, to me, it feels like it's like your end is good, right? Like, you know what you want. You're pretty clear on what you want. You may even want children in the future. You just need this person to sort of grow up and start acting right, so that you can get on to having, like, the joys of your heart, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, opening the key, using the key to open those doors to start to begin to have that life. This heart in the future also speaks to the idea that it is there for you. Like, it is, like, the purity of what it is that you desire, even if you're not maybe getting it from this person because they're being a little bit foolish at this time or whatever. The purity of what you want is out there for you, and very possible in the future. Will it be with this person? I don't necessarily know exactly, because I can't really tell how they're going to behave, but I feel like you're handling it with these principles of being, this idea of blessed and serenity. It's like, even if you're maybe facing annoyances, or inadequacies in someone else, you still try and make the best of it. You still try and keep serene and keep centered and keep balanced, and continue to sort of move forward. And I think that sort of helps to kind of um, allow you to kind of understand that there will be that sort of heart-centered, connected love that you're looking for. Whether or not it's with this person is what I don't know. So whether they're resisting you or you're resisting them in the state that they're in, that might be okay. Who knew that we could make all of those letters into the word resisting? That's crazy. So I am going to clear the board. If you need to take a picture, Tracy, let me know. If not, I will clear the board and I will get started on Heidi Phillips will be next. Miss Heidi Phillips. You're welcome, Tracy. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting me over on Patreon too, dear. Because you don't always cash in your charmings, so I am glad that you got yours for October. I don't think you got yours last month. I think. Where are you? Are you in Australia? I think you're far away. That's the reason why. And like every time I'm on, it's like you're mourning or something. Job for Heidi. Okay. Let's see what does Heidi need to know about her job. Her. That's right, Tracy. We've talked about that. All the way on the opposite side of the world. I love this city though. High card. Let's get deep into the corners for Heidi's job. Dig these charms around. Okay, let's see here. I see Heidi's boss. I see Heidi's boss. I'm just kidding. All right, so we have a DHL. Do you work for a shipping company, Heidi? I'm just kidding. We have an R. We have an L. And I have one other letter underneath here. We have a Y. DHL, really? I'm just kidding. So we have a total of 2, 4, which is 6, 7, 8, 9, and 4 more is 13, correct? Which then brings us back down to a 4. 4s are about stability, sometimes about foundations. Let me look at this. So job for Heidi. All right, Heidi, I want you to give me a yes or no answer really quick. I know, she says no, I don't work for DHL. I was kidding, dear. I'm only teasing. I get a feeling that you're not happy at your job when I look at these charms. And the reason why I'm going to say that, if you could give me a yes or no on that, like, I mean, as long as you feel comfortable giving me a yes or no on that, is because I feel like there's something working in the future charms here. There's a lot of activity in the future, meaning there could be some change coming, like active change of you deciding to change maybe the job that you're in. Does that make sense? And so I don't know if you're questioning the job that you're in, but if you are, I feel good about that because it looks like you're trying to like work. Okay, thank you for that. Yes. Okay, perfect. That's what I need to know because that's what I'm seeing in these charms, and I don't want to be predicting something and saying like, oh, you don't necessarily like your job and you're getting ready to change it if that's not the case. So that's just good. That lets me know. Thank you, Heidi. All right. So what you have here, I feel like this is maybe your current boss it's either, if it's not your current boss, it's like a boss that you've had recently, like maybe in the last, let's just say, few years, right? I feel like they're a real right pain in the behind. Let's just say that. You have, and I feel like they're also moving towards the past, right? They're kind of on this side of the board going towards the past. Like, so if this is our current boss, that also speaks to the fact that we're probably leaving this job. This doesn't necessarily have to be a boss either. This could be like, say, a coworker who thinks they're senior to you, right? That gives you trouble, or that makes it just like a miserable experience to go into work every day, or whatever. But whoever this is, it's kind of like they act as if, like, either they are your boss or they act as if they're your boss or you're their subordinate, even though you may not be. Whatever, they're just a pain in the ass. Let's just say that. This is not necessarily a pain in the ass charm, but I feel like that's who this person is. That's also why they're sitting up flat on their stand, sort of. They're not like laying flat on their back where they're in the charming. They're kind of like standing up in the middle of your charming being an ass, is kind of how I feel. All right. Now, you have two of the dirty charms, the dirty sex porno theater card coin charms. So I'm going to see what signs they're for just because I'm a nosy slut. But let me see what these are. It is, I can't read. I'm blind as a bat too. I'm a nosy slut, blind bat slut. All right. This is Cancer, the sign for Cancer. I can't read it. These coins are so old. I've had them forever. Not that I've ever gone to a porno theater in my life, people, but I found these in the street in San Francisco out front, a porno theater, and they were cool because they had astrological signs on them. People use them for those dirty movies. I don't see the words, but she's doing something very wrong to that man. Let's just say that. All right, so that's the sign for Cancer, and then this sign is, I think this is Sagittarius, is it not? It is Sagittarius, and this is going on. What do they got going on over here? They're doing some really crazy stuff too. This says active. All right, so we have Cancer and we have Sag here. So, what I am going to say about this is Cancer is about nurturing, right? Cancer is the water sign, right? All sex store aside, Cancer is about nurturing, water sign, that sort of thing. In this charm, though, in the sexual act that's on the flip side, it's the woman kind of taking care of the man, right? So I kind of feel like there's an importance to that, not from a sexual nature, but from the fact that you might find yourself being subservient to, say, bosses in the past, situations where it's not been very fulfilling, where you're kind of like, ugh, this guy's an asshole, or whatever it may be. It might be like a little bit of a repeating pattern, right? And we may be experiencing it now, even though that's on the way out the door with our friend here, right? But this gives me this idea of not only does it have that aspect to it, it also has that aspect of the energy of Cancer, which is very nurturing, right? Very emotional. And that's a good thing. I feel like this is about sort of nurturing and caring for ourselves enough to kind of move ourselves forward or do something different going forward, because we're realizing like, no, this is not what I want. This doesn't feel right. This is just maybe the same thing that I've dealt with in the past, whatever. So we're listening to that voice, and then we have this idea of Sag over here, right? And Sag to me is about sort of expansion, right? And Sag is a very mutable sign, so it flows and it ebbs and it changes and it can turn on a dime, and it's not like really fixed in its ways. It is a fire sign, so it has a little bit more of a desire to it, a little bit more of a spirituality to it, or actually a lot more spirituality to it. And it's about taking action, right? It's about taking your shot, right? Because like the Sagittarian is that that horse-footed, half horse, half man, and he's always got the bow, right? So he's the archer. He's getting ready to maybe sort of take his shot. You might be in a period right now, because this is sort of your present time right in here. Sorry for the camera going out of focus. That's your sort of present time charms. And so when I look at Sag, it's like, okay, so this says to me that she's being a little bit more active about what she wants. She's being a little bit more expansive about what she wants. She's maybe taking aim or getting her bow ready to take a shot. She's trying to figure out what is it that she exactly wants. How is it that she wants it? And the other reason why I feel that is going on is because we have the wisdom charm right here. So you're accessing, sorry, that keeps going out of focus when I put my hand on there. You're accessing your own personal wisdom of what you know from your past, your experiences, and what you want in the now, and trying to like blend the two to bring you to a place that is better suited to you, right? Sorry if I can't get it to go back in. Anyways, what we have going on here is not only do we have the, what is this stone? I am totally drawing a blank and I have it all over my house. Amethyst. The amethyst stone, we also have amethyst here on the crown chakra. This is our knowing. This is in the higher mind space, and it is the higher mind, so to speak. It's kind of where higher self taps in and lets us just like sort of be still and know. Come on, you stupid camera. There we go. And what I want to say this, it kind of feels like your intuition is sort of maybe popping off right now, or trying to get like lined up and trying to move forward with a little bit more clarity. There's a certain amount of, I feel like, I don't want to say that this is blocked, but because it's flipped over, you might be having a hard time feeling 100% sure right now, right? But I think that that's okay. The wisdom charm, this charm here, and this charm here speak to the idea that it's like, to me, it feels like, Heidi, you're working with all of the like right, oh my God, Tallulah, the snoring. You're working with all of the right faculties, right? You just might need to fine tune it or figure out how to hear that knowing voice a little bit easier, but that will come, I believe. I think that will really happen and change for you. Going into the future, so we have all of this series of charms, and some of these charms are turned upside down, which is fine. I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that what it is it's because it's the future. They're yet to be determined, but the fact that they're showing up even flipped over says to me that their properties are available to you going forward. So we have the dream catcher, right? Which this automatically makes me think that if you're thinking about any sort of new business venture where you're the creator of it, or it's some sort of idea that you want to put together, I'm highly behind it. I think it's really beneficial. There could very easily be the possibility of that. You have the imagine charm right next to it, right? So that would be about sort of doing the imagination. Right now we're in the sort of the wisdom state of, is it smart to walk away from a job that makes me X amount of dollars? Even though I maybe don't love it, you know, or it's kind of annoying or it reminds me of jobs of the past. Do I really want to take the risk and move forward and start to create something new? I think you will. The 6 here, 6s always bring about sort of this semblance of like kind of, it's after the change of the 5, but before the choice of the 7, right? So it's that sort of balance about taking the change on and adjusting to it, and then making the choices that you need after having made the change. Does that make sense? So 6 to me is it's not as balancing as an 8, but it is about, when we get into the future, we start to feel more balanced in the decisions that we've made, in the wisdoms that we have, and better skilled at listening to our own intuition so that we can move forward in that imagination, and we can begin to create whatever the dream is for us, or whatever the ideal job is that we want, right? You also have the sign of Aries here, which is the sign of the ram. That to me is, again, fire energy, similar to Sag, all about action oriented, about getting things done, about not taking no for an answer. Aries is also associated with this symbol of the Emperor, right? The tarot card of the Emperor. The Emperor always has like a very clear idea of what he wants and very high standards about getting there, right? So when I associate that with, when I associate the sign of Aries, that to me is very much like a take no prisoners, get it done, do it in the right way, do it quickly. It can be slightly impulsive, but I don't get that feeling with these cards with these charms, because we have this wisdom charm here. We also have a lot of intuition happening up here. The 6 to me feels like a very balanced number. It doesn't feel like you're going to be frivolous. What it does feel like is deeper in your intuition, the desire will be strong, or deeper in your subconscious, I should say. The desire will be strong, your actions will take place and precedence, and you will act on them in intelligent ways, right? The very last charm, which is deep down here in the deepest subconscious, is a wonderful journey is ahead. I know it's backwards because my camera's all wonky, but this says a wonderful journey is ahead. It's down in the very subconscious, in the furthest in the future that you can get, right? All of these are in your future coming, okay? To me, it's only yet to be determined, because you're still in this process of sorting it out intuitively and logically, and blending those two together. Once those two get chosen in that energy of that 5 and you shift into that 6, boom, then the imagination stone can flip over. You can start imagining how you're going to go about doing it. You can start creating the dream using that Aries activity or action to sort of take those steps, not necessarily fearing the consequences, just getting out there, getting it done, and being sort of almost like demanding, but in a good way, right? And then this wonderful journey, the clarity of this clear, wonderful journey stone starts to come into play. And deep in the deepest subconscious recesses of your mind is this opportunity to have this wonderful experience and journey about maybe the creation of whatever this job is, or this creation that you want that we see in this dream catcher. So I feel like there's something really good going on right now. It is a transformation, and you might have to wait a little bit longer to go through some of this stuff, but everything that you're doing right now, all the questions that you're having, all of the sort of like musings that you're going over, all of that stuff is for, like, to me, what looks like to be good, valid reason, right? And as long as you don't let like fear or anything like that hold you back, I really think that the doors can open up for you to really find an avenue or an opportunity to create something new and wonderful for yourself. So I hope that makes sense, Heidi. And my dog agrees because she just snorted really loud. So that's her saying, indeed, Heidi, you're going to be rich. It is wonderful. It's very exciting. You have to trust it and be active in it and don't fear it and just do it, my dear, as it comes. And I think that you already know that. That's the thing. I feel that in these charms back here, you already have known this for a little while, and you just have tried to be, let's say, what's like you're just trying to be smart and careful about it, and that's totally understandable. That's that wisdom charm. Like, you're just trying to be wise about how you move forward, and you will. You'll do it in a wise way. I mean, that's my feeling when I look at these charms. I mean, you're already like kind of thinking it through, even if you haven't yet to fully take the action. That's okay. Be in that research and thinking apart. That's totally fine. Stay in there as long as you need to, because when it starts to kick off towards this future stuff, you'll understand where to go and how to do it, and you will be willing to take that action with this Aries charm here. Like, no problem. You'll know the steps to take. You'll be very clear on it. Do you need to take a picture of this board? The next person will be Teresa Cook. Yeah, I don't sense any craziness in here at all. I sense the only thing that might, it's not even crazy, it just is action oriented, is this Aries sign. But to me, that feels good. You're welcome, Heidi. You're very, 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 very welcome. General with an emphasis on love and relationship for Teresa. All right, 1 second. Heidi, do you need to take a picture of this board, or can I clear it so I can do Teresa's? And then after Teresa is, let me see, who's after Teresa? Is Kathleen. Kat is after Teresa. You got the pick. Okay, great. All right, so we're doing a general with the emphasis on love and relationship for Teresa. Oh, sorry, should I not call that out? Teresa, I'm sorry. All right, let's see what's going on for Teresa. We've got an R. We've got a G. We've got a, oh, that would have been so cool if it was a B, RGB, or RBG, just in her honor. We've got a U. We've almost got rogue. If this is an E, no, it's not. It's an R. All right, so we have R-O-G-U-R. You don't know a Roger, and maybe Spirit doesn't know how to spell very well, do you? I'm just kidding. All right. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So this is the number 6. Like I was saying in the previous reading, 6s are usually about coming into balance after having made the changes before making the choices to move forward, right? So 6 is a pretty beneficial number. Like it's a nice number. So, hey Queen Kimmy, how are you, dear? So let's look at this with an emphasis on love. I don't know why, but I sort of feel like there's maybe a problem. Isn't it? Isn't it gorgeous misspelled, Andrew? That's what I thought. It's Roger. It's phonetically sound. Spirit spells phonetically Roger. Roger. All right. So when I'm looking at these, I feel like, or it could be gorge. No, I'm missing an E then. G-O-R. Whatever. Anyways, what I feel like is going on is there's a problem going on. When we talk about love, well, you said general with an emphasis on love and relationship. And so, Teresa, I'm just going to assume, and you can give me a yes or no, please, not too much details, but I feel like there's a problem in the relationship if there's one that's existing right now. And part of the reason why I feel that is because the family charm is dead in the center and it's upside down, face down. We also have the teapot, which to me is like domestication or the home. And so that's kind of tilting over, pouring hot water onto the whole situation. And then you have the rooster underneath, like in the midst of all of this, and he is face down. And the rooster is kind of like usually in certain cultures, like the Portuguese culture and stuff, it's a symbol of good luck, right? And so to me, it feels like there might be some bad luck that's sort of maybe befalling the relationship right now, or some situation where the home feels a little bit turned upside down. There might be strains going on within your existing relationship or within your home life. I don't necessarily get the feeling that it's insurmountable or not changeable. I just feel like it might be a rough patch right now for you guys. And I don't feel like this is like an ending or things are falling apart. It just feels like it's rough, you know? We also have the turtle here, and the turtle usually represents sort of like Mother Earth. It can also represent home too, because the turtle carries its shell on its back, but the turtle is flipped over, right, on its back. So it's sort of vulnerable and can't move. So we might have a little bit of a stuck situation, or a feeling of a situation that feels stuck in, say, our home, in our relationship. But I think that it's temporary. At least that's the feeling that I get. Part of the reason why I feel like it's temporary is we have this strength charm up here. If this is imagine, I'm going to scream. Oh no, it's breathe. Okay. Because I was going to be like, imagine showed up in every reading tonight. All right, so we have the strength charm here, which it feels to me like it's egging you on or saying, just stay strong, don't worry, you'll get through this. And that's why I feel like it's temporary. Underneath here, what do we have? This says, with an attitude of gratitude, only good your good can only increase. I feel like this is true, right? But it's hard to see that when we're dealing with the day-to-day struggles or the stresses of whatever it is that might be going on within the family right now, right? But again, I want to go back to this place of it doesn't feel like everything is ruined, right? It doesn't feel like it's at an ending point at all. It feels like there is an opportunity, hopefully, to mend things, but we have to be strong, and then we also have to remember to breathe. And I think that at times, this is why this is flipped over, we're maybe not remembering to do that, right? Maybe there's members in the relationship or in the family setting that are not thinking clearly, or grounding, or taking a step back, that kind of a thing. It might be exacerbating situations. This is the Nino. So it makes me wonder, Teresa, can you give me a yes or no? Do you have children? I have a feeling you do, because you have this charm and you have this charm, so it makes me feel like there's kids involved. Hey Jen Nichols, how are you? Oh, Queen Camille, they're 25. So I feel like there could be children involved of some sort. You do. Okay, thank you. I feel like this is one of the children. There's also a child in this family thing. I'm not sure how many children. I don't think that that necessarily is what's important. I think that there's this worry about the children in all of this. I also get a feeling, is somebody pregnant? Like, I know this is pretty obvious, it's a baby, right? But I feel like this is a baby that's coming in the future. Like, I almost want to say, it feels funny to me, like, it feels like possibly you have a... It's Rogue, that's missing an, it's, missing an E, though. So, I feel like this could be a baby that's coming in the future. Nobody's pregnant, okay. I don't know why this baby is in the higher mind in the future. Like, you don't have a daughter that's old enough to be pregnant even? I shouldn't be predicting that. It just feels like this is a baby that we don't know about yet. That's like going to surprise us. That's my feeling. Don't know why. I don't want to be predicting any babies that we don't necessarily need, but okay, good. Let me see. And then, so with all of this going on, right, the thing down below here that makes me, is we have, this is all sort of balancing on this Cancer symbol, right? And to me, the Cancer symbol, again, I'll go back to the previous reading. Cancer is all about that sort of motherliness, nurturing energy, love. It can be very emotional, and it can be certainly moody. It can also be, it's a water sign, so it's affected by the tides, by the moon, all of that stuff in a much more intense way. So it makes me feel like this whole situation, if this is, my feeling is this is possibly you, right? One aspect of you where you might be holding up the whole family and trying to keep everything together, keep things mellow, keep things happy, even though things feel turned upside down or not bad per se, but uncomfortable right now. And you're trying to figure out how to make things work. And thank you, Kimmy. And you'll be after, there's one more in front of you and then you. So to me, I feel like this Cancer symbol is you trying to kind of nurture everything and hold everything together, keep everybody happy, but it's also taking a toll on you, right? It's also like, Cancer, the symbol of Cancer, can be moody and emotional. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that it could be affecting you emotionally in ways at times where it's harder than other times, right? And so, oh, group is a word. Yeah, group is there too. Group. Oh, there's no P, but yeah, it could be group with no P. All right. Anyways, so do I feel like this is going... I feel like all of this can be changed, right? I feel like all of this is sort of temporary. I think that some of it, my feeling is when I look at these charms, is I feel like I know that you're doing your best and you're just trying to nurture the situation and be good to the situation as best you can, but I think that you also might be focusing slightly too much on the situation or letting things get a little bit out of hand emotionally for you, so that frazzles you, and then it's harder to deal with everything else that's going on with everybody else. Right? I also want to say this, I kind of feel like everybody has their own sort of path involved in this, whether it be your partner or your child or whatever's going on. You might need to allow them to have that experience. I'm not saying like go all hands off and just let all hell break loose, but I am saying that there is maybe certain things that might be going on. Say if the child is acting out or doing stuff that you don't want them to do, or I'm just using this as an example, I don't know what the specifics are, don't get yourself so hung up. Like, try not to get like, how do I want to put this, don't let them sort of, like, their behavior or their choices sort of whittle you down. Does that make sense? Like, you are an incredibly strong and nurturing person. But when you take on the problems of everybody else in the room, it weighs you down, and then you're unable to really be of assistance to anyone, let alone yourself or anybody else. And some of this, I feel like, is not solely yours, Teresa. It's the entire family units, right? And that's where, like, the word that Mary just said, which was group, minus the P, would make sense. This is not just like a relationship reading in the sense of we're talking, you asked for a general or with an emphasis on relationship. This is like kind of like the familial unit and how it's sort of a little bit turned upside down right now. But the world is turned upside down right now, Teresa. And so what I want to say is go easy on yourself and go easy on your, I think you're probably going easier on your family and supporting them better than you're supporting yourself right now, is my feeling. I would say be kind to yourself as much as possible. Have faith and trust that they will work their stuff out or get where they need to be, even if they're having a hard time. You can't be, it's this fine line of being like, you know, a support and then taking on the problems of others. And we don't want you to take on the problems of others. The word rouge or rogue, yeah, that could be there too. So going rogue, maybe you need to split up out of there. Rouge is the color, right? Where you put it on your cheeks. Rogue is like going rogue, R-O-G-U-E. Well, maybe you need to go rogue, girl. Go on a vacation. R-O-G-U-E. Could be rogue. But to me, I think that this is all very temporary in the sense, but I think that you need to sort of also not take it on as your own so much. Just because it may be happening. Does that make sense? Like, is there a way to sort of be strong, step back, breathe, and let everybody kind of have their process, find some space in all of this? Remember that, like, you know, if we stay focused on the positive things and what are working, then things will, you know, hopefully eventually, you know, shift and begin to work out versus holding tightly to what's wrong and scrambling to try and fix it when you can't, right? So that's my take on this is that I think that it does, but I am on my own. I'm not sure what you mean by I am on my own. That could be the meaning of rogue too. Oh, you're a single mom. Okay. So are you wondering if like a male might come through? Is that what you're wondering? If you're wondering like if a suitor might show up? Because I don't necessarily see that as happening. If anything, I see sort of like, you know, upset or like, what's the word? Um, Not upset, but like discord in the family unit right now. But I don't think it's permanent. I think it's changeable. You have someone in your life, but they need to help out more, is what they need to do, Teresa. That's what I think. And maybe you need to ask for that help. And maybe, how old are you, Teresa? How old are you? I mean, if you don't mind saying online. Are you old enough to still get pregnant? Just give me a yes or no. I still have not resolved this baby up here. I still feel like this baby is something we don't like see coming. Oh, you're 42, so it's probably not your baby. Okay. I don't know why I feel like there's a baby coming that we don't know about. If you talk to me in a month or two and you go, oh my God, remember that baby? Just let me know. Because there's something about that baby and I can't quite put my finger on it. I feel like I want to say like somebody's either pregnant or gonna get pregnant and we don't know it and it's coming. Tubes are tied. We talked about kids though. Interesting. There could be a baby. That's my feeling. I don't know whose baby it is. And I don't like to. It's a sketchy thing when you're predicting, life and death like that. I don't like to do that. I don't like to put that on people's plates because it's like, those are big things to predict. But I just sort of feel like this baby it could be your baby. It could be somebody else's baby. I'm not sure, but it just feels like there's a baby coming that we don't know about. Maybe it's a pet baby. Maybe, cat. I have 6 fucking pet babies. Do you guys know that I have 3 cats and 3 dogs now? I am like a crazy cat lady. It's a mess. I love them all, but it's like, it literally is a zoo in my house. Thank God for my animals, or else I don't know that I would have gotten through this pandemic. I don't even know that I'm actually getting through the pandemic, to be honest. I'm getting crazier by the minute. All right, Teresa, I'm going to wrap that because I got to still do 2 more readings. So I got to do, who's next? I know Kimmy sent mine, but somebody else did. Kat is next, and then Kimmy. It's funny you say you would love another baby. There might be one, dear. I'm telling you. If you message me in a few months and you're like, remember when you said there was another baby coming? Guess what? I won't be surprised. I've had it happen to me before. I just don't want to put a baby in your future if that's not something that you're open to or want. But I just sort of feel like there's something about this baby that keeps drawing my attention. Pets totally help. Well, I don't want you to freak, Teresa. This maybe isn't even your baby. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a new baby somewhere in the future coming, and like. But see, these babies. There's like I think 2 or 3 of those babies in the box. 2 of these babies showed up for one of my friend Laura's charmings, and I couldn't figure out what they were. And I was like, and Laura always called her business her baby, and she got her business back. And so she called me, like I want to say, I don't know, a week ago. We were talking on the phone. I might have called her, I can't remember. But she said something to me and she's like, remember those 2 babies? She's like, I totally have my baby back. She's like, my business came back. And I was like, oh my God. And so, a baby can be a couple of different things. But to me, this feels like an actual baby. So I don't know where that baby's coming into the picture, but it could be coming. It is in the future, so all of that is malleable. I always say that about future stuff. Anything predicted in the future, we have the opportunity to make choices and changes to not have that happen. So I don't want you living for my predictions kind of thing. But if a baby shows up, girl, you let me know. Say bye, baby. Bye. All right, baby gone. Oh my God, that's hilarious, Teresa. You might be predicting it. You might be willing it to happen. For those of you on Facebook or on YouTube, Teresa over on Facebook is saying, I keep joking with him that one day he's going to break through the barrier and get me pregnant. Oh my God. Well, maybe that's the truth. I don't know. So Miss Kat Mutzenberger, what do you want your reading to be on? And then Kimmy, you'll be next. Thank you all for buying Charmings, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great night, Teresa. Let me know if any babies show up in your future, girl. Career for Kat. Alright, what does this say? Outlook positive. This did not land on the board, but we're going to leave it up here because it's kind of outside trying to get my attention, I feel like. So we have an R. We have an O. we have an E, and we have a T. Tor, T-O-R-E. So it's the number 4, which is about, stable. Let me see here. All right, so what I'm going to say about all of this really quick is I feel like there's a definite strength in this charming. And it's sort of interesting that they kind of do this. Do you see that? I've never seen the charms like line up in a diagonal line like that before. That's kind of interesting. And it comes from the past and the subconscious, and it feels like it's building towards the future. And that's just a weird thing that I'm noticing. The other thing is that the reason why I feel like there's a lot of strength in here is obviously we have the strength card here up in the higher mind, the strength charm, but we also have the bull down here, which also signifies that grounded, earthy ability to manifest on the physical plane, that sort of a strength. But I also love Mary being right here, right? She's a very strong female character to me. The crown also very strong in the higher mind, in the future, right? Tallulah, nobody can hear because you're snoring so loud, dear. These people are paying for their readings. Yeah, they're buying your kibble. You need to quiet down. All right, so we have this charm which was in the last reading. It's with an attitude of gratitude, only your good can only increase. To me, this is down in the subconscious, in the past, next to the mood ring. And so when I look at these two things, to me this feels like there was something a while back, I feel like, where your mood shifted around your career or some idea shifted around your career. I think that it was for good reason or for good purpose. We end up with the wisdom charm. This is coming up into the present time, present time mind, current, like coming out of the subconscious. So I feel like, focusing on positivity or our moods and things like that bring about this idea of how to be wise about thinking about moving forward in our career space and what it is we want to do. The bull to me feels all about like practical, grounded, strong action, right? Like moving forward, being unstoppable, putting in the hard work and the effort, doing all of that. I love that he's next to the moon charm, right? This moon charm speaks to the idea of the intuition is at work, right? So we have to me, the physical, which would be the bull, earth, the moon, which would be more spiritual or like water, emotional / spiritual, intuitive symbol there. These two feel like they're working together. Now, that brings us, and all of this in the higher mind is with this strong higher mind working through all of this time, right? Through this whole period, like staying strong, staying positive, trying to like really work out what it is that maybe we want, how it is we want to get there, what it is we want to do. Mary's here in the future. Her feet are at the future and she's sort of sideways, but I like this because I feel like she's sort of kind of sticking her feet out there. Like if she could stick her feet off the board, she would. Like the plans for you, and this seems to me to be you, Kat, like it feels like this is you, is this idea of kind of being in charge, maybe being your own boss, being the creator of whatever it is that you want to do, that sort of a thing. And the lizard crosses over her, which is, to me, the lizard is dreaming. So it's always about like sort of maybe living out our dreams, making them real, making them manifest, using our intuition and our like sort of our strength and skill to make those things happen. We have that next to the I can't think of the name. I don't know if this is Haiseki, I think. Is this Haiseki? I can't remember. This is a Reiki chakra stone. To me, this is about energetic healing. All of the Reiki chakra stones are about energetic healing. So I like that this is sitting next to Mary, like meaning going into the future. If we believe in the dream and we believe that it can happen, and we continue to create from that place, we sort of also heal our energy and we feel better about things. We have the crown up in the highest mind. To me, it's upside down and it's face down, but that's not a bad thing. I just feel like it's not here yet. That's all that's saying. To me, this crown is sort of like, what does it look like? What does the ultimate sort of career choice look like? Where do we feel honored? Where do we feel valued? How does that feel? How do we want to be treated, right? And we have to dream that sort of into a reality, right? We have the strength, the wisdom, the hard work, the intuition to do all of those sort of things, but then we have to sort of live in that reality and build upon that dream to get towards this crown and to be honored in that way. Underneath all of this in the future is we have this wonderful little guardian angel. So you've got spirit on your side also working for you, right? Let's see which angel this is. This is Raphael, which is the guardian angel of healing, right? So he's represented by the color of deep green. I would wear some deep green if you want. That would always help. I would look him up, maybe pray to him, ask him for help and assistance. I do feel like there is an opportunity for healing here too, because we also have this chakra stone here. So that kind of doubles down on Raphael's help here in the future. Let me see here. And I also, I want to say this too. This came out outside of the board, which said positive outlook. So, or outlook positive, I should say. So, and again, that's reiterated back here from the past in this idea, in this stone of when we focus on good things, we expand our ability to have more good things. The mood ring also brings an emphasis to that of paying attention to our moods. Is this something that we want? Does it make us feel good? Does it inspire us? That sort of a thing. Do I feel like there's a forward momentum going on in your career space? Yes. Do I feel like it's an upward trajectory? Yes. Do I feel like it has an opportunity to heal you? Yes. Do I feel like it's something that you want and you'll feel honored in the end? Yes. Do you think that you can accomplish this? I believe so. I believe you might be right about this charm here, similar to the previous reading, or in these charms right now, because this is sort of your present time space, which is hard work, being wise about it, being strong in your higher mind, and using your intuition to kind of guide you towards getting to this place of feeling empowered. And also, Mary, to me, she's not just an empowered woman, but she's sort of she's also very much a spiritual figure, right? She's connected in spiritually. She's listening to her own higher self. She's listening to her own guides. She is, sort of like an unabashedly powerful female, right? There's no qualms, worries, misgivings, dumbing her down, none of that, right? So I like this because I feel like when I see you as this charm, I see you as living in the reality of who you are and what you want and what you desire, owning that and building that through this, the lizard, right? Which is the dream. It's seeing it, believing it, making it happen, going after it with the strength of the bull and the intelligence or the intuition of the moon, right? We can achieve in the future this sort of honor, this crown, this dignity that we deserve, right? And we can give that to ourselves. So to me, these feel like an upward trajectory in the career space. It feels like you have to also believe that you're on that upward trajectory. You have to not only sign up for it, but actively produce it, believe in it, be even slightly relentless with it. That's the bull too. A bull can be not only, not only physically strong, but sort of stubborn in a way, where singular of purpose or kind of not letting your goal or your dreams kind of die. Does that make sense? And so I feel like you say choose joy every morning. Well, that's perfect. That's this, and this is the sort of also what sets the mood, right? So it says, very interesting. I just accepted a promotion. I had waffled on applying, but my boss encouraged it. I think it's great that you did. I feel that you are this Mary. I feel that through hard work and through your strong intuition and your wisdom, you're going to achieve really good things, and there's going to be a lot of opportunity for you. This is a positive outlook. Outlook is positive, dear. I think that this promotion is a very good thing for you. And you have to just trust that and allow that, and I think that it might actually bring about some sort of healing too, in the sense that you'll just be feeling yourself in a very good way, feeling capable, powerful. And I don't mean that in a power ego trip sort of way. I mean that in just a graceful kind of, feeling honored, valued, all of that sort of stuff. And that's all good, and everybody deserves that in their life. Some of the words that you've used are the ones that people use to describe me. Fierce! I love it! Well, that's what I'm seeing in the charms, dear. So that means that those are your words. She is Queen Kimmy. It's true. Mary's like a wonderful epitome of, even though, biblically she, religion gets a little bit weird with Mary, I love Mary as a female icon. I think that she is the epitome of sort of spiritual connection, grace, honor, bravery, faith, belief, strength. Like, you've got to imagine she was a young girl who traveled across a large distance to have a baby that she didn't even understand why it was all happening to her. I mean, there's a lot to be said for Mary and her story, when you just think about it from from without all of sort of the religious context to it, if that makes sense. She's always compassionate, she's always loving, she's always, what's the word, like, she's just sort of, I don't know if unashamedly her is the right way to say it, because she's also like the Queen of Peace too, like, which is always really lovely. You do call to Raphael? Well, he's here, dear. He's certainly here. So good. Keep calling on him. He's trying to tell you, if anything, he's just telling you, hey, I'm listening. Yes, every time you call me, I'm right here. Well, I think that she is sort of the essence of, like, to me, the divine feminine, right? Where she is a strong and capable woman who is both graceful, compassionate, and loving, but yet also strong, faithful, all of those things, right? And that's what I love about her. I love this charm. I got her in Mexico, this charm. And so she kind of, I have a couple of sort of goddess charms in there. I have like a green Tara, I have Mary, I have a couple of iterations of Mary in there too, different types of charms of Mary, but this one in particular I love. She was a keychain, and I took her off the keychain and put her in the box. So that is your reading, dear. I think that this, what was the word I was going to say? This promotion is going to be a very good thing, and you need to just trust it. Run with it, my dear. And if you need to take a picture, please do so. And then I am going to do Kimmy's. Oh, excuse me, my stomach. I know, she has a beautiful charm. I love her. Let me know if you need a picture, dear. Oh, you did snap it. Okay, cool. So, Kimmy, what do you want your charming to be on? With all your eyes there, Queen Kimmy. How's everything in Japan? I said Kimmy, dear. I just started my business. I moved back from Japan. Oh, okay. Well, welcome home. And I wanted to know if this is my calling. It feels like it is. Okay, let me see. Is this Kimmy's calling? All right, there's a lot of letters, Kimmy. Let's see here. We've got an I, an N, an O, an E, a Y, an R, a D, an I. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, which would be a 3. Too bad there's not an M here because I would see money. I see tenderoni. All right, let's get into the reading. Not a lot of charms, Kimmy. Let me see here. What is this one? Believe in your dreams. All right, I'm going to say this because it's flipped over right in the center. I think that whatever you want this to be, it can be. And the reason why I say that is because we have the rose quartz and the hardened heart on either side, right? Rose quartz is the heart chakra. It is that love, right? So I think the inspiration to start this new career or this new job, this thing that you're doing, is inspired by love. The barbell is here, which says it's going to be hard work. Like, it's not just going to be an easy breezy, beautiful cover girl moment. You're going to have to work at it. I'm going to flip this over because I just want this up. This believe in your dreams is like, yes, you can create it, but I think that there's something that might be at this time, only at this time, blocking you slightly, right? Maybe it's fear, maybe it's worry, anxiety, is now the right time, COVID's going on, the world's kind of crazy politically, whatever that might be, it might be causing you a little bit of stress or like having a hard time to believe it, right? And then you also have the throat chakra stone up here in the higher mind, which to me, this speaks to me about like, it's on lapis, right? Which is this stone that is associated with the throat chakra. We have the heart here, which is right below that. It's like taking what's in the heart, right? Because we have two symbols of the heart here, and kind of bringing it up and communicating it out and making it real, making it a reality. So I want to flip that over, right? Because if we are able to communicate it, if we are able to express it, I believe that we're able to have it, right? Again, though, there's going to be some hard work. When I look at these two charms, we have Mother Earth, which is the turtle. She's flipped over. I'm going to flip her upside right, but she's flipped over. So there's a little bit of vulnerable feeling maybe going into the future. So I don't know financially where you're at, if this has to do with finances, but because it's the turtle and the turtle carries its home on its shell, right on its back, that's why it makes me feel like it could be maybe financial fears or worries. Like maybe if it doesn't kick off and be totally lucrative right out of the gate, you might feel a little bit of nerves or worry, but I think that that's okay. And the other reason why I say that is because it's near this coin, right? Which makes me feel like the coin is coming like in the future. This coin is the crab, again, a theme for the night. It's Cancer, the sign of Cancer. Cancer's highly intuitive, a little bit moody, but also very nurturing, very loving, very emotional, right? And I think you're a Pisces like me, aren't you, Kimmy, if I remember correctly? I think you are a water sign, if I'm not mistaken. So, what is she saying? Wait. I almost made money. You will make money. I just feel like it's going to take some time. The other thing that I like about all of this is you have the Reiki symbol down below. I can't think of which one this is. There's Shokure. I think this one is long distance healing. It's not the power build. This is, I think, long distance healing. I can't really keep them straight. I need to study them better. It's also, I need to do more charmings than once a week. But I like that this is down here too, because I think, again, similar to the previous reading that also had a Reiki symbol in it, is I feel like there is sort of like this opportunity to heal ourselves through taking on this dream, taking on this challenge of creating the next chapter for ourselves, right? The only thing I'm going to say is I feel like with such few charms on the board, there might be this feeling with you where it's feast or famine, where it's like, oh my God, the minute things start to go off the rails or don't go as planned, you might panic and freak out and go, oh my God, this is a mistake, it's not enough, da 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 da. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this. I think that the truth is, or what you need to realize, is that the sparseness of this board, or the lack of sort of full-on craziness going on, is actually to your benefit. Yes, things might be hard work. Yes, things may not roll in as fast as you might originally thought they would, or that you would like, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad idea. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to work out. I think that it actually has the opportunity to work out as long as you sort of like do this charm here, which is believe in your dreams and communicate that reality out into your world. You have to kind of continue to believe, even if, sorry, this camera, it's so stupid, come on. Even if you don't, like, let me say, like, how do I want to say this? And I'm using this as a hypothetical. Say it doesn't, like, make a ton of money right out of the gate. Even if you have to sort of, like, make income elsewhere in the interim to kind of balance things out, don't give up on this, is my feeling. And the reason why I say that is the hardened heart and that rose quartz stone says to me that this is something that you desire. This is something that you love. This is something that I think that you bring to the table. The hardened heart also speaks to this idea that whatever your experiences are and how they fit into this career choice are very individual to you. Does that make sense? Like if you do this, it's like kind of like maybe you're the one that's perfectly suited for doing this because of the experiences you've had within your life. The sadnesses, the letdowns, the whatever. I'm not exactly sure what your business is, but whatever it is, I think that hardened heart says that you have the authenticity or the experiences and the because of those experiences that maybe, from the past that didn't necessarily work out in the way you thought they would, the healing that you've had from them or the growth that you've experienced beyond them, whatever, that's part of this hardened heart that you bring to the table that makes this very much you, right? And makes you like particularly skilled at whatever this is, where people will pick up on that authenticity of it all. And that is also what affords this healing here, right? That opportunity to kind of not only create something valuable, but also understand your own value in everything that you've been through thus far and how that comes to the table and adds to whatever it is you're creating. Does that make sense? Wait, Team Pisces, yes sir. Drone involved in business. No, I'm doing marketing to help minority businesses. I just want people to be successful and guide them. I think that you can do that. I think that you have to, I think business, and that's maybe the starkness of this board right now with COVID and everything that's going on. It might be leaner months for the next few months or maybe the next year, but don't let yourself give up on that. That's my feeling. I think that you can be successful with this. I think that the heart that you have involved in it and all of that can bring about good work and change for people, and you can make the difference that you're feeling as though you want to make. Will it be as easy and as fast as you would like it to be? Maybe not. Maybe it will be. Like, don't take my word over whatever you can create, but if it feels slower to go than you were expecting or harder, don't let that get in your way, is kind of my feeling. Do not let that get in your way. Because I think that it can happen. And it can actually be very, very good. Oh my God, did you hear this? Kimmy, can you see that cat's comment? Maybe you guys are in the same chat. And it's funny, you both got these Reiki healing symbols in both of your readings. Maybe you guys will Reiki heal each other. I don't know why there's so many letters. Sometimes I think too many letters can sometimes... I don't get a sense of confusion. I don't know. I get a sense that maybe your mind goes a little too much. Like, all of these letters make me feel like I'm thinking about too many things. This doesn't feel confusing to me. It feels like I'm looking at all the different avenues all the time and I need to slow down. Like, if this is what's going on and this is the mind, it's like, whoa, Kimmy's got a lot going on in her mind in this, when there's really only this that she has to deal with. That's my feeling. But this doesn't feel as confused as all the letters that we saw in the other one, where I felt like more confusion from those letters. This feels like your mind going a mile a minute, not necessarily confused per se, but just like thinking about all the what ifs, what ifs, what ifs, and it's like, do we really need all that? Kat, you can say the company name if you feel comfortable doing so. If not, I'm not sure how you guys. Maybe you guys message each other on YouTube. I don't mind if you say the company name, Kat. It doesn't bother me, but I don't want you to get in trouble. You're welcome, Kimmy. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're back from Japan. I think you can. You've taken a photo? Okay, great. Alright, you guys, I need to make a phone call. I just got a call and I had to hang up on them. Hey, Aaron, I'm actually wrapping up. I'm going to finish for the night. I've just done, I think, like 6. Thank you to everybody that bought readings. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, I will be back on again Sunday, or maybe I'll try and do it again this week. I don't know. I need to get back better about doing more readings online. I just, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, I've just been feeling so, like, just crappy about everything I see in the world. It's just getting me down. And so I don't feel super into wanting to solve other people's problems when I feel so sort of like bummed out about the world. It just doesn't make me feel like I'm making much of a difference. Does that make sense? Or that I can make much of a difference when you watch the whole world be such a dumpster fire. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but that's kind of how I feel. I'm just like, ugh. I just don't feel like I have like sort of the exuberance or the excitement a lot of the time. I'm just like, "Ugh." So I'm sorry that I'm only on once a week, but I need to do it more. I'm hoping that that will change soon and I will be on more often, and then you guys can have access to me and I can hopefully make a little bit more money because I'm not making any money only coming on once a week. and we can have more fun and get like off focus. Get my focus at least. I don't know where your all's focus is at, but get my focus off of all the craziness that's going on in the world because it's not serving me at all. It's just making me sad. Thank you, Erin. I will. I'm glad, Kat. I'm glad. Enjoy that promotion. I know I do need to listen to some twerky music. I need to be have some fun again. I just feel like I don't know. I just want the world to be good to each other. And I don't know what it's going to take, you know? So, it's hard to want to make, I don't know, I don't want to say this, like, I want to feel as though I'm making a positive difference, but when you look at all of the sort of not positive stuff going on, you're like, how can I even go up against that kind of thing? Does that make sense? Yeah, it's probably true, Kimmy. I do feel the darkness. It's just, it's disheartening. All right, you guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for buying Charmings. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, follow, subscribe. You guys know the drill. I will see you guys. I know we do need the aliens to show up, Kat. I've been watching Ancient Aliens at night in preparation of their arrival. I'm kind of like, I don't put it past them. I'm like, anytime you want to show up and get these fuckers in line, I'd be happy to like watch that happen. Only from the standpoint that it would be fucking mind blowing, but it'd be the one thing that would bond the left with the right, where they would stop fucking bickering over stupid shit and start to realize that we're not as important as we think we are in the grand scheme of things. You know, to assume that we're the only form of life and universe upon universe upon universe is short-sighted. And then to assume that on this planet we're the only ones that matter, whether we're coming from the left or the right, is also really short-sighted. It's no different than, you know, us watching people bomb buildings in the Middle East over holy wars. It's the same fucking thing. It's just we're doing it on our ground, in the United States under the name of making America great again or whatever. It's getting ridiculous. It's just, you know, I just thought we were going somewhere else, and it seems like we've done a 180 and we're going in a different direction. And I'm like, whoa, where the fuck did this come from? But, you know, at least everybody has toilet paper. All right, you guys. I love you guys. Have a great night. I will talk to you soon. Take care, okay? All right, bye. Oh, there's my phone. All right, bye.